Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome. I did not get a reminder put on Facebook today. I totally forgot about that. Um, so if you're here, let me know in the comments. And welcome. It's Thanksgiving week. Can you believe it? So I hope you're all ready. Um, I have everything bought for the dinner that I'm going to participate in, so I have to make things here and take them. Um, so let me know when you're here. So I hope somebody shows up today. I know it's a busy, busy week, and oh, let's see. I'm just taking a deep breath here, trying to get everything organized. So if I don't see anybody hop on here shortly, I figure that you can catch the replay and do that at your leisure. So let me talk about what we're going to do today. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Pat Mayer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Akron, Ohio. That's in the northeast part of the state. We were lucky enough to avoid any of the major snow down in the area where I live. They have some a little bit further north and a whole lot to the east. So much so that the Cleveland Browns football game had to be moved from Buffalo to Detroit. And to tell you the truth, they probably could have played just as well in 6 feet of snow as they did yesterday. So that's enough about that. So anyway, I am going to flip you down to my desktop and give you a little preview about what I'm going to show today. But if you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification or the bell to get notifications. And I would love to have you join me on Mondays at 3:30. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I would especially like it if you would share my videos. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I enjoy what I do, and I love to share, and I love to teach new ideas. So the Piece to You stamp set is in the Holiday Mini. I still have trouble calling it something other than that because it does focus on the holidays, but it is in the July to December mini catalog. And it was one of the first stamp sets that I saw that I just fell in love with because I love the simplicity of it. And the fact that you can pretty much make some very easy, simple, and elegant cards, okay? So I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to be making a card with each one of these major stamps. I'm also going to be cutting out using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the stylish shapes. And some of the things I have pre-done, and I'm going to use the Merry Melody embossing folder. It's a 3D, so there you can see that it's got some music notes on it. I really don't know what it sings or says because I really sadly do not know how to read music. And I have used, I'll put that away because I've already done that. And then I have used a snowflake out of the Chic dies. And there are other snowflake options in other stamp sets, but that's the one that I chose to use. And as far as the Chic goes, the Chic Season of Chic is on page 99 in the annual catalog, and it has amazing things for all seasons. You've got fall and winter, you've got spring, this beautiful background cutout, and some beach things for summer. So that part is already done too. So I can put that aside. So what I'm going to do first is to do the stamping, and then I will be cutting out with the stylish shapes. And I have the Stamparatus set up. If you don't have a Stamparatus, you might want to consider getting one. And let's see if we can get my face here just a little bit. Okay. The Stamparatus is a stamp positioning tool extraordinaire. Let's see, let's make sure I've got all of my things pressed right. Okay, so there's nobody here yet. It is perfect for stamps like this that have a lot of heavy stamping. I guess that's the best thing to call it, because you want this to give you a really good impression. So this one, as well as this other one, is perfect for that. And that's why I want to do this first, so that I can show you this. If you've not seen it before, it is amazing. So we've got two places that you can add these plates to. One on, I like to keep mine on the right, and then one at the top. So if you were doing repetitive stamping over and over and mass producing, you could do one and then two and so on. But I'm just going to use this same position on the right side. And the color that I'm going to use, it just makes it so easy for this, is this beautiful Starry Sky, which is one of our in colors for 22-23. And I just recently re-inked this. If you've never re-inked your ink pad, all you do is take your re-inker, and I strongly recommend getting a re-inker when you purchase any ink pad. Your ink pads will last a long, long time. And then in this case, since this is an in color, and we know it will go away in 2 years, you can always get yourself another re-inker and have it basically forever. There are other things that you can do with the re-inkers as well, besides just re-ink your ink pad, which that brings us to a whole lot more things. So I have re-inked this, and in this case, I'm going to not only stamp, and I guess you can't really see this, so let's get rid of my face here. Okay, and move this over. I want to make sure that it's in camera view. And there is a bit of a glare on this, so we'll get beyond that. So I've put the ink on here. I've also inked another stamp at the same time, the one that says Silent Night, Holy Night. So I'm going to stamp both of those at the same time. Typically, you want to put your paper in the upper right corner. That way it's not going to shift, even if you choose not to use one of the very strong magnets. It comes with 2 strong magnets, and those are stored on the back of the Stamparatus, far away from each other, that they won't meet up. You don't want your magnets to meet up at any time. So I'm going to, let's move this down here a little bit. Let's go over here. Okay, there's a strong magnet here. And because this is a cling stamp, I don't have to worry about using a foam mat. This black foam mat comes with it if you're using photopolymer. And you just press, And because I re-inked it, that's a pretty good image, but I want something a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do is, well, the Silent Night, Holy Night. Let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to clean that with my chamois and take that off of there. And it's a good idea to keep a stamp case under your mat, because that gives you good support, and then it's straight across. Okay, so that's did not move from up there. So I'm going to re-ink it again, and this time I know that I'll get a really good image. And you can give it some pressure. Oh, that is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to pull that off of there. And go ahead and use my chamois to clean that. That's what these chamois are so good for, because this is a whole one cut in half, and you can see that it's been well loved. And it's very easy to clean your stamps and put them away right away. Okay, I'm going to leave that on there for now. I may be making more of these cards. I like them so much, I probably will be making some for my own Christmas card stash. So I'll just put that away. And now I'm going to bring in this other one. And grab another quarter sheet of paper. Put that up in the corner. Now, I've already positioned this, and this is what you do. I'm going to go ahead and take this one off of here. I know that I want this to come over here on this side of my paper. So place that where you want it to go. I know it's clean, so I'm not going to be getting any ink on my cardstock. So place that down there, and then pick it up with the plate. So wherever you want it to go. And this way, I'll be able to do 2 of these. So I really only need one for this project, but I'll have another one ready to go. So I'm going to do that. Now this morning when I was creating, before I re-inked, I was having to do this 3, maybe 4 times. So I knew that I needed to re-ink my ink pad. Even though it looked okay, it wasn't okay. Now this is okay, but it's not good enough. Let me zoom in just so you can see that a little bit better. You can see where it's lighter here. So I'll keep it zoomed in while I do this again. And I know that this didn't move, and the magnet has kept it in place, so I don't have to worry about it shifting. So this is a great investment. You can do the same thing with a block, but you're never going to get it lined up as perfect as you would with this. Now that is pretty perfect, pretty near perfect. Now I want to do it again on this side. So what I'll do is just turn my paper over and flip it. And do that again. That way I can kind of mass produce. I am going to be cutting this one out. There's no die that matches this. And again, it's still, because the paper is porous, Let's move that out of the way here. There's still some lightness there. It's okay, but it's not good enough. Not as good as this one is. And again, there's no need to put a foam under there because you have foam on the cling stamps. There, perfect. And the Starry Sky ink is just stunning. So let's clean this. So pretty much all of our stamping is done. Okay, I hope it says I'm live and recording, but obviously nobody's watching me today. It's a busy, busy week. Can catch the replay. And I will just pull that off, take this off of here, and I can put the Stamparatus away. Now, as I said, there are 2 plates with this. You never want to store them together. So one down and put the other one on top. You wouldn't have one up here and then bring it forward. So let's zoom back out again so you can see the next step. And let's bring up the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Get the handle going on the right side here. And this one I'm going to cut out with the largest square from the Stylish Shapes. So that's going to go on there like that. And for this I need plate 1, plate 2, a plate 3, and just so I don't want this to slip, I'm going to use some Post-it tape. And I can do this one at the same time. And that tape can be used over again too. And then I have another plate 3 to go on top. And then just feed it into the machine. And there we go. So, are you having a great start to the week? It's pretty chilly here, but we are supposed to have 50 degrees by Thanksgiving, so that's a good sign. Especially this close to the end of November. All right. Okay, that's for one card. Put those dies away so they don't get lost. And I'm going to snip out with my paper snips one of these. And on this one, I'm going to go pretty close to the edge. I usually leave a white border around most of the stamps when I fussy cut. But on this one, I want that dark Starry Sky ink to be right there at the edge. Okay. And these are easy to fussy cut. There are no dies that go with this stamp set because they are easy to fussy cut. So even if you didn't have a square die, you could cut out around the church image. And I'm just going to cut straight across and get the longest one there and line that up so that there's still a little bit of white there. And the Silent Night, Holy Night is ready, and this one will be ready for another card. Okay, I'll show you my original card at the end. Excuse me, because I'm going to change up the card that I'm going to make for you today just a little bit and see if you like this one or the other one better. Okay, I mentioned the snowflake vellum, and this will be retiring, and I know it's going to go on sale on December 1st. So we'll talk about things that are going to be on the retired list and not carrying over next week. But this vellum is just amazing. I've used a lot of it. There are 6 sheets here. Yes, 6 sheets of 3 different designs, and you have an iridescent. It's just stick. You have an iridescent, and you have a flocked, a white flocked image for each one of them. So here's the flocking for the snow. Here's the iridescent for these snowflakes, and there's the flocking for that. And here is another one. I've actually already used one of the one of those full sheets. So on this one, I'm going to start with a card base that is 11. Zoom out a little bit here. Hello, let's zoom out. Okay, it's not zooming. Okay, 11 by 4 1/4. Yeah, I need to measure that. Make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. 11 by 4 1/4. So it's a top fold card. That's my favorite because then it can stand up easily. And I've cut a piece of the white flocking on this one that is 4 by 5 1/4. But before I put that down here, and this is going to go on here, I'm going to add some color behind on this sheet here with a blending brush and my Starry Sky ink pad. So I know there's a lot of ink on there, so I'm going to tap that on there, and let me grab a piece of Stamparatus grid paper. These are nice to have just so that you don't get ink on a lot of different things. So I'm going to use that. Tap that ink off a little bit, and I'm going to start in the center and just in a circular motion add some of that blue ink. Now when I put that vellum back over top of it, it will just have that blue shading. Let's see if I need to add some more to that. I'll add a little bit more. Okay, I think that should do it. Now, with any vellum, you have to be very careful with what kind of adhesive you use because it's going to show through. And I know that this is going to go over top of this. And then I should have 2 of these snowflakes that I cut out of the chic, there we go, the chic dies that I showed you at the beginning. And those are going to go back here, 2 of those. So as long as I don't put any adhesive around the edges, even if I know it's going to lift up, it's fine. All I need to do is put adhesive behind this focal point here. Okay, so I can put adhesive here, and I'll use liquid glue. Just in the center. I just love this. Love, love, love it. So you can see that adhesive is there. And you wouldn't want that to show through. Whether I use this or I would use glue dots or our Stampin' Seal, which is like this, it would show. So you want to be very, very discreet about where you put adhesive. And I also want to pop this up. And for this, I'm going to use some of our adhesive sheets. Instead of using a boatload of dimensionals, this is the same size as dimensionals. So I'm going to, let's see, let's put a piece here. So if you've never used those are on the adhesives page. I'll look that up in a minute. And it just adds plenty of dimension to your card without using a lot of dimensionals and pulling off all those little things. Or if you've got a large piece and you want to just have a nice strip to give height to your project. So another piece here. And then I'll put a little piece in the middle so it doesn't collapse. And then you can just peel those off. And there's one in the middle. Now, how am I going to get those snowflakes on there? Now this one, part of it fell off when I ran it through the die cutting machine. So I'm just going to kind of stick that back there a little bit. I just want part of it to show anyway. And put the other one back here. And there's still enough adhesive on there that it's not going to mess up adding that to the card. So there's that. almost done. And then we have Silent Night, Holy Night. And I'm also going to use a strip of this on there. And it's a little bit longer. And I'll pull that off. Then we'll add one more thing, and that will be a little bit of bling to this. And that's going to go right down here. And here are some iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. And I'll just grab my Take a Pick tool. And these kind of have a pinkish tone, but when they're on a project, they just shine. Let's see. Let's put one down here. One over here. And typically I go with odd numbers, so there's 3, but I think this needs a little bit more. So let's go with one there and one up here. All right. So there's the card. The last thing to do is a piece of that flocked vellum that is cut 2 1/4 by 6 to go on the envelope flap. And now that I think about that, I don't think that's such a good idea because that is going to show with the adhesive. So I am not going to use this. I don't know what I was thinking when I thought that that would be a good idea. So I will just put something else on this envelope when it's time to send the card. So there's the final version. And that's card number 1. This was the original design without the vellum. And I just colored on the back of a piece of same size as the vellum, basic white cardstock. So it's basically the same card. So which one do you like better? The one with the vellum? This one or this one? This or that? So you can let me know in the comments when you see this video. All right. The next one is equally as easy. And I've already stamped and cut this out. And for this one, we have a piece of, I'm going to close this up so I don't stick my finger in it. We have a piece of basic white. Again, this is 11 by 4 1/4, but in this case, I have folded this back on itself and, excuse me, or scored it at 2 3/4, whatever you choose to do. You can just fold it back and then use your bone folder to crease it so that we have a little fold like this. And this is also a little bit different than my original one, but I'll let you choose here. I guess I'll choose since I don't see anybody there. I have the iridescent one for this and the flocking for this one. And since my original one has the iridescent on it, I think I'm going to put the flocking on this so I can show you the difference. This one also has that Melody 3D embossing folder that's going to go in the inside. And let's make sure I've got the word. Okay. I saw one of these someplace, not this card, but somebody had used this, and the notes were going upside down. So I'm sure a music aficionado, if I've pronounced that right, would definitely notice that the notes aren't going the right way. So I think I'm right on this. And this is just a piece of 5.5 by 4 1/4, but I've trimmed off just a hair off of this one end so that this will close easily and not buckle. So just a hair. Okay. So on this one, once again, you have to watch where you put the adhesive, but I'm going to put the iridescent one on there and add adhesive just in the center part. And then add this, and I'm going to, this time I'm just going to use up some dimensionals that I have here. I just wanted to show that we have other adhesive options, and those adhesive sheets are really very handy for a lot of projects. So now I get to peel these little things off of here and hope that they don't follow me upstairs. They tend to do that. But that's just what we do. That's the fun of it. Okay, and one more. And what I do is to look at and see if they're shiny, then I know I have all those backings off of there. And that's going to go right there. And I could have done this coloring before I put that on there, but it really won't make any difference. We have some blends that are designated as skin tone blends, and they are on page, where are those blends? Natural tone blends on page 128 in the annual catalog. So I'm just going to give Mary and Joseph a little bit of color. And it'll make it stand out a little bit better. And there are a lot of different things you can do with this stamp set and coloring them. But I'll just do a little bit. Let's see, what else do we have there? Okay, there's her other hand. And it just adds a little bit to it. And then I'm using a dark. These are hard to get off of the lid. The lid is hard to get off because you don't want them to dry out. But this is the dark Daffodil Delight. So I'll add that to the star in the east. And then add an iridescent rhinestone to that too. I'll put a little bit bigger one in there. Okay, so that will make that shine. Now, on the inside of this card, you still do have plenty of room for writing a sentiment or a personal message. And I brought 2 stamp sets here that really have some nice sentiments in it, in addition to the ones that are in the Piece to You stamp set. And that's Brightest Glow, and the other one is Joyful Flurry. And I've used this in one of the previous videos, and this is really nice too. I like It's a Season of Magic and Wonder. That would go there. Wishing You a Season of Hope and Light. That's a good one for there. Let me show you the original. Okay, hoping your season shines bright with the love of family and friends. And then room to write a message here. If you want to add more, you could put something here. You could also glue this down, but I like to have this one open so that it opens like this, and then it can stand up. And then this one goes like that. I'm just going to leave that empty for now. And those are the 2 cards. I guess I meant to put the flocked one on this one for today, and I forgot. So these are both the iridescent. And make sure I got all the coloring done of Mary and Joseph. So these are the cards for today. So let me know what you think. And before I let you go, I've got a couple more to show you that I worked on yesterday. Let me clean up my little mess here. Okay, here is another one. And for this one, I used the Wintry 3D embossing folder. It's a miniature one, so it's only 3 inches. So there's no embossing on this side. I did show that a couple of weeks ago on one of the videos. And then I put this on the inside. Cut a hole in there with, I think, the seasonal shapes. And on this one, I also cut out a church stamp separately and popped that up on there. So that's another choice. Here's one using the new Florets dies. And as I look at this, it's a little bit crooked, but that church also fits in one of the ovals and overlaps just a little bit, and then added the hearts to that. So there's another one. And then just a piece of white. So you can see I pretty much carried the starry sky all the way through there. So there's that one. And then here's this. I guess I have 2 more. Now, this was the one that I was originally going to do, and I used some designer paper there, but I didn't believe I had enough. So that's when I decided to use the vellum or just use the coloring with the blending brush. So it was either going to be this one or that one that I made today. And I really like the one that I did today better. And of course, that bling really adds a lot. And it's just a top fold card. And then I did one more where I cut a frame. So instead of making this a square, I used one of the frames from, this was the stitched rectangles, and created a frame for that. And for this one, I did use the adhesive sheets to go all the way around the edge of that. So that's really nice and firm. So lots of cards to share today. And I hope that gave you some inspiration. Lots of blue, but that's what we think of when we think of snow, whether we like snow or not, wherever you might be living. So even though I have not started my Christmas cards, I do have an array of Christmas cards that I can start sending out. So let me know when you send your Christmas cards, like right after Thanksgiving, or do you hold off and send them closer to Christmas so they don't get lost? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 8 cards I can send, and they'll all be ready to go, plus the ones that I have been making. So even though I've not been sharing a lot of Christmas cards on my videos, some of them have been Christmas oriented, and so I'll have plenty to send. So I hope you enjoyed today. Again, I think I only saw one comment pop up on my screen, but not where I normally see them. So if you were here today, thank you, and Thanksgiving blessings to everybody. And I'm so thankful for all of you who watch and enjoy and leave me good comments. So take care. I'll see you next Monday. Have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.